Kani kadega Batesi TV, bat pidang pet yaki kubor baman kasni, balawan rasha pi da ka Orange Nissan, lom so po niya Fabricate Shillong, ringkat bat ka BDW International School Nongmansong, Langkarding Shillong. Admissions open now.
Menteri Rang Bak Jelau Konrad Ki Sangma Hakishi Tarik Wiayong Arjar Arpo Ulakan tu biang yipat ba nong shnong jong Jela Mekhalia Borokwe Bakin buat renti yaki jing betha jong ki bor Sensyar District na ka benta baniada yaki jing em jong ki pat ba nong shnong Jela na ka jing sapriang jong khnyang jing pang coronavirus hakini kesngi Menteri Rang Bak Jelau la lum yaki jing elang haka balai don lang ki Menteri Sarkar ki MLA na kaliang persya u Chief Executive Member ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council ki MLA kaliang persya u Chief Secretary ke Jela u Director General of Police ke Jela ka Deputy Commissioner but ka Superintendent of Police jong ka East Khasi Hills District na ka benta bania theriatai sani halor ka jingya bed ka jingya dai ki patba na ka jing sapriang jong khnyang jing pang coronavirus.
The objective is very simple, was to ensure that there is a improvement in the overall coordination of the different efforts that are being made by the government at all levels. And therefore, I think MLAs play a very crucial role, and therefore their inputs and their suggestions and their participation is absolutely critical to ensure that we're able to fight this particular situation and overcome the situation, an unprecedented situation that not just Meghalaya but the country and the world is facing. Friends, at the very outset, I would like to first of all really express my, I should say thankfulness, and at the same time would like to congratulate all our health workers who have been working tirelessly and are there right in the front, fighting this battle for each and every one of us. Apart from them, we have our officials and workers from different departments like the finance department and the revenue department and labor department and many other such departments who have been working. I would like to really, on behalf of the people of the state, thank them for their continuous work that they're doing in a situation like this. Even the administration, all the deputy commissioners, and entire administration is working overtime. And of course, under the leadership of the Chief Secretary, who's taking charge of the complete administration of this particular situation we're facing, the administration as a whole and the Secretariat also has been working overtime. So I take this opportunity on behalf of the people of the state to thank all of them for their service that they're giving to the people at this point in time. Having said that, friends, also the situation that we face, as I was mentioning earlier, is unprecedented. Therefore, I know there are many challenges. The different officials have been trying to do many things in many ways to fight the situation that we're facing. And there cannot be any right way of doing it, and there cannot be a fixed solution to this. It's a very dynamic situation we have not faced. So I do urge our people and our society and all our citizens that sometimes we do need to be slightly a bit patient also with the situation. I know it's very, very difficult, but we need to give the space to our officials to really deliver, and it's not easy for them. We're learning as we're going along, we are improving as we're going along, and if there are any mistakes that need to be rectified, we are rectifying those mistakes also. At the same time, I would once again urge the citizens of the state that please follow the rules and norms that are being given by the district administration and by the government in general. These are being done for your safety, and therefore only if the society and the citizens come together and we are disciplined and responsible in our ways, only then can we overcome the situation. Therefore, all citizens, all our civil society, our traditional organizations and the headmen's, be the Rambashnongs, the Nokmas, be the religious leaders, I urge all of you to play an active role in ensuring that we are able to overcome the situation by ensuring that we are with the people, and we make them realize the importance of being responsible. In this meeting today, we had a number of issues that were discussed by the honorable MLAs. All of them expressed different concerns regarding the people, especially when it came to essential commodities. As you're aware, there's a big challenge throughout the country about this, but the administration and the state government has taken a number of steps to ensure that we are able to overcome the situation. And the honorable MLAs expressed their concerns about it, and we have tried our best to address all of them and also assure them that as we move along, that all those issues and concerns that they've raised, we will be addressing those issues and concerns. And yes, some of them are very, very challenging, but we will try our best to address those concerns. And we got very, very positive suggestions from the MLAs also. And I would like to thank all the MLAs for being very supportive and uniting together across party lines, across ruling and opposition. We are here to give a message to the people of the state also that all the political leaders across party lines are standing together with the people of the state to overcome the situation, and that we are all working together to ensure that all our issues are addressed, and as I said, we are all able to overcome the situation. We understand that it's not that coming April 14th and the situation is gone or the virus will not be there. So therefore, I think every state and the country, and I think every country in the world is preparing itself for any kind of situations that may come even in the future. So therefore, yes, absolutely right. We are exploring those opportunities, those necessities. We're exploring them, and we're seeing where and how we can move forward in this. But since the situation required immediate action and immediate movement, therefore, as a temporary arrangement, we have requisitioned different locations and buildings to immediately set this up, which we feel should be enough for the time being. But of course, these kind of situations are very, very unpredictable. But we will keep on increasing the numbers as we go along. But yes, in the long run, we are exploring that. But right now, I cannot comment on any specific decision being made. But I think in the long run, not just our state, but I think every state in the country will have to look into that option. I think, let me be very, very frank. I don't think any state or any country today has enough equipment or enough medicine. The question is now, how much can we get, and and ensure that they're distributed properly towards to the grassroots level, and also ensure that they're judiciously used. That's very, very important also. So to answer your question very bluntly is that it is never going to be enough. As I said, even countries like US today are facing shortage. Even China at one point faced shortage. The country as a whole is facing shortage. So therefore, the only thing we can ensure and we can do is to judiciously use these equipments and medicines that we have, and ensure that we're able to send them across to the district. But I can tell you bare minimum requirements that are there. I should say sufficient requirements are there right now. I shouldn't say bare minimum. Sufficient numbers are there, keeping in mind the current situation that the state is facing. But in a situation where we don't know how many numbers will come, of course, any kind of preparation is not enough for a full-blown case of coronavirus spreading everywhere for any state or any country. But I think in the current circumstances, we have done our best, and we are continuously procuring more equipments, and especially the personal protection equipments that are required for the doctors. We are continuously in the process of getting. There's a shortage throughout the world, but we are making our efforts from every angle to ensure that more and more of this supplies come. If the lockdown did not take place, the idea was only to break the transmission chain in that phase, so that it does not become a full-blown case like many countries are facing. So that is the objective of this lockdown, is to break the transmission chain. And I think to a large extent by doing this lockdown, and if people are acting responsibly, which we are requesting everybody to, I'm sure we'll be able to break the transmission chain to a large extent. Having said that, post 14th of April, things will have to still continue in a way where we need to be careful. We may not have the kind of economic lockdown as we're having right now. This extent of it is really something that we have to wait and see. I think Government of India, I'm sure Honorable Prime Minister will discuss with the different states and with his cabinet, and the government will decide. But I'm sure that at the end of the day, the economy has to move on. Life has to move on. But then I think there may be certain restrictions that might be put in place. There may be certain activities that might be reduced to a large extent. And we'll have to see as time comes and the numbers come out as to what strategy would be adopted. But having said that, I'm sure it's almost like till we don't find a vaccine or a medication to this, we will be in a kind of a corona age, and I think we need to learn to live with it with precautions. We need to learn to live with it with our social distancing and our personal hygiene practices. And government needs to be prepared with a rapid action system where we immediately respond to any situations that may come up in the future also. So therefore, friends, yes, you're right. It's not easy to assess what's going to happen, but I think it will not be the same as it used to be before the coronavirus came in. So I think governments and the society all will have to adapt to it, and accordingly have to move forward. Economic policies will have to be changed. We'll have to plan out and think on how we will move forward. Health infrastructures need to be stronger. The response system in the SOPs for different departments on how to respond to immediate outbreak if it does happen in the future. Those kind of systems will have to come in. Command control centers will have to be set up. Different isolation wards need to be set up in different districts. So many things will have to happen. But maybe it's not the right time to talk about it. But let's just give you an idea that we've already started planning on these kind of things. And I think every state government will start doing these things.